I'm trying to be able to see my screen and also be able to show you guys what I'm doing here. So if you follow my pages, then you know that today is the full moon and that I am planning on doing a group working for release. So this Lion's Gate, right? This portal, in conjunction with the retrogrades that are going on, it is about release. We are being called into letting go of what no longer serves us. And by that, I mean the old programming, the old version of you, the one that you built to survive. That we are so thankful for. We are so thankful to be able to conjure what we needed to get through. But the thing is that we're not trying to survive anymore, babe. We are trying to thrive. That is what I want for you and for everybody else who sees this. I want everybody to thrive. The thing is that in order to be able to thrive, we need to clear some stuff out. Old patterns, bad habits, negative thoughts that just keep going around, these perceptions of ourselves that at one point maybe were true, but now they're not serving us. They're not helping us. And this can be anything from the time that you were a kid to through bad relationships, rough parents, hardship, all of those things. Some people are targeting feelings of lack. Some people are targeting feelings of abandonment. Some people are targeting just overall negativity. All right? So that is what this jar is. Now, I've put it out for a couple days on my page about how I was going to do this jar working, right? And I have a list. This is, I think there were 18 people who messaged me. So I went ahead and wrote their names into the jar. I do have slips of paper. If anybody who's watching this wants to get in on the jar, I'm going to be more than willing to do some add-ins, because I know that not everybody is familiar with me. I know that not everybody knows what it is that I'm doing. So if you would like to be included in on this releasing jar, go ahead and let me know. That being said, please follow my page. That is where you're going to get updates, where you're going to be able to see this jar as it goes throughout the month, and you'll be able to follow my other stuff. So I do ask that if you would like to be part of this jar, follow my page. That being said, let's talk about what's actually going to go into this jar. Because maybe you're not looking to be part of mine, but maybe you are interested in doing your own. Here's the thing. There are so many things that you could be using for this, but I chose a couple of different ingredients and I want to talk about each of them so that maybe you can get some background, you can see what's going on here, and then if you know what's going on, maybe you'll be interested in making your own or joining this one. First things first, we're just going to start and go around here. The first thing that I'm going to start with is juniper. So let me hold this up so that you guys can hopefully see this. This is juniper. Now this is a smudge bundle that I made. You could call it a seining bundle, whatever you want, smoke cleansing. Now this is juniper that I harvested myself, and I create these bundles for myself. A lot of people like to use white sage, and I know that there's so much conflict around that specific ingredient, right? Some people are like, you shouldn't use it at all. Other people are like, well, you can use it, but only get it from indigenous people. Some people are like, well, it grows everywhere, so just do whatever you want. I don't know about all of that. I'm not trying to get in on that. I'm just doing something different. So juniper is long known to have cleansing and purgative properties. Its berries specifically have been used in a number of tonics. Gin and tonic, anyone? So this is cleansing, restorative healing. And what I'm going to use this for is to cleanse my jar. Now, you can use any jar that you want to. My husband was like, why don't we just get a bottle of wine and you can, I'm not trying to drink a whole bottle of wine just so that I have a jar, husband. We will get one. All right. But if you happen to have a leftover wine bottle, nobody's judging you. Just go ahead like this. Now with juniper and any of these cleansing bundles, you want to be careful because a lot of them, when they're handmade and not rolled up by a factory or in a whole process, and they go quick. So make sure that you're in a relatively fireproof space. And then we're just going to take that smoke and we are setting it We're gonna fill that jar, and we're gonna make sure that we get all the way around the jar. Now, while you're doing this, you are imagining that you are not only clearing the jar of any negative energies, any energies that you might not be interested in, but you are also setting that intention. And in this case, our intention is release. All right? So, also, don't forget to cleanse your lid. This is important, all right? Why? Because this is the physical item. This is the physical element that we are going to use to seal this jar, to seal our intention. So you don't want any Joe Schmo, whoever, Dorita that picked this up and she was in a bad mood and now all of her energy is all over your jar. You don't want it. So just don't do it. So same idea. I'm gonna go ahead and set that back to the side. And this, I feel like we all could use a little bit of cleansing right now. I'm gonna take some, to me, especially over my heart space, over my throat chakra here, because what I want to do is to be able to be clear with my intentions. And I also want to give you guys some. Here you go. If you're watching this, bless you. This is going to remove anything that is blocking you. We're just going to pull all of that right off of you so that you can be in this space with me, so that you can be ready to commit to that release so that we can step into what we're meant for. All right. It feels better, doesn't it? Feels better. So that is the cleansing element of our jar. Now let's talk about some of the other ingredients. This is one that everybody should know. Salt is universal protectant. It is a universal cleanser. It is something that if you have done any amount of magic, watched any magic videos, seen anything about magic at all, read any magic books, us witches, we love salt. We love it. We love this stuff. We love salt. So we're going to be using salt here. Now, we're going to use salt in two ways. First, I'm going to create a circle of protection. Now, the idea behind the circle of protection is that we are creating a spiritual barrier to prevent any errant energies that we are not intending in this space to keep them out. Now, I like to make my salt barriers pretty thick. What you do is up to you. Again, it is the intention that matters most for this. All right. And for all you geometry nuts out here, no, I do not have a perfect circle. It's okay. So that's the salt part of creating a circle. Now you can take salt. It doesn't really matter what kind of salt. I use kosher salt because it's easily available. And as a professional witch, I go through a lot of salt. I also use sea salt, those kinds of things. But babe, if you got a salt shaker and that's all you got, do it. Because this is about you. So I'm going to add in a pinch of this. And while I do that, may our pasts be released and cleansed, and like this salt, flow away like the tides of the sea. So that brings us now to our next ingredient. This is one that many people I have heard of, but don't work with often. This is wormwood. Now let me see how I can get that to where you guys can see this. So it comes up on these sticks, right? It's long sticks, but see if I can dig through here a little bit. And the branches are fine, right? The stems are fine. But what we're actually looking for, what gives us this fragrance, if you will, are these little leaves. It's probably kind of hard to see, but hopefully you can. Now, wormwood is interesting because it is something that I use frequently when I'm about to do a psychic reading. Why do I use this for that? I will straight up, I've got one right here. I will take this, I use it in a bundle form, light it up, and I'm using it to not only cleanse myself, but I am inhaling this a little bit. Why do I do that? Because it has potent psychic properties. It can change and alter your awareness. Now, we know, I don't want to get too far into this because you guys are like, do the damn spell already, but I'm going to, so sit with it, learn. Just learn, take it in. If you can't hang out with this, I will be hosting the whole live later and you can watch it, all right? I got you. Anyway, so if you guys have heard of absinthe, right? That green fairy drink that supposedly makes you hallucinate and all this crazy stuff that they put out about it. Well, not all of that is quite true. But one of the main ingredients of absinthe is artemisia, which is this wormwood. There's some different cultivars, some different varieties. The reason why I'm including this now is not so much for the psychic ability, but for the fact that it has the ability to reframe your mind. It has the ability to clear out what you're not meant to be focusing on right now and to allow you to be in the space to pull in what you are trying to do. I think a lot of us struggle with that. So I'm going to take some of this wormwood. I'm going to put it into the jar. And as I do, I'm going to ask that what is not meant for us is cleared and that the path forward is illuminated. So that's the second element. Again, you can add whatever you want to in here. I have some more to go through, so that's what I'm going to do. The next thing we're going to add, this, and I left it in this jar. I've even got a second bowl I could have put it in. But I left it in this jar on purpose because it is important to me that you guys know that not everything has to be aesthetic. Not everything has to be super perfect. If you are working at home, you might be working and are probably working from the herbs that you have in your kitchen cabinet. All right? I grabbed this out of my kitchen. Guess what? We're working with sage. And this is not white sage. This is common garden sage. Smells like sage, does a good cleansing property. We're going to use this. It is so important to me that you guys know that witchcraft is not about what money you have, what things you have, what aesthetic you're bringing. It is not about that. All of this on this screen that you see, it's for show. It's so that people will watch you. When you're doing this in your own house, you use what you got. And today, I have the sage. So, why are we so about sage, right? Ground sage right here. It has purgative properties. It is great at cleansing. There have been multiple studies done with sage, and when you burn it in the air, it not only cleanses bacteria out of the air, it helps keep bacteria from growing in the air, sometimes even days, if you've burned it in an enclosed space. So this thing it's wonderful at clearing. Sage also has protective properties, and we could use a little bit of that right now, right? Because what I'm asking you to do, and what we're talking about doing right now, is becoming vulnerable. That's what's going to happen when we're doing this release, right? Because in order for you to release the negative, we're not just going to go, oh, it's all gone and now I'm perfect. No. What this is going to do is it's going to bring up opportunities for you to face those things, see those things clearly, transmute those things, and move on past them. And that is the energy that we need right now. So we're going to ask the sage to cleanse what's blocking us and protect us as we move forward. All right. So pretty easy so far, right? Pretty simple. Now what I want to move into are the waters that I'm going to be using. And speaking of water, please excuse me, I need to take a drink. I don't usually talk this much, so here we go. I have 3 different kinds of waters here, and actually let me just go ahead and move this set out a little bit now that you guys know what those are, and maybe you can see them a bit more clearly and it'll make it easier. So I have 3 waters here. The first one is agua de ruda. Now, this is rue water. This is a rue cologne. I will show you the bottle closely. Now, a lot of times people will use this for money magic, prosperity magic, but the fact is that it is great at reversing things. It is great at turning things around. And this is what we're trying to do. This is the purpose of where we're trying to go, right? We're trying to take what is and to change it into what we desire, right? We are trying to transmute what is into what our visions of the future will be. So I'm going to use some of this. If I can get it open, I'm going to use some of this. And this, move my candle here, will go into the jar. Now, let me go ahead and move that to the side so you guys can see a little bit better. So agua de ruda, I just want to talk about it just a little bit longer. This is something, it says cologne, all right, and you could use it skin safe in small amounts, but I would not recommend intentionally dousing yourself in it because it is potent. This is some potent stuff. People will add a little bit to their spiritual baths. They will use it to floor washes, that kind of stuff. Agua de ruda. You can pick that in any bodega, any sort of Latin store, anything in that line. I don't think that they carry this kind of stuff at your regular grocery store, so you might have to look. If you have any problems getting a hold of it, let me know and I'll help you find a bottle. The second one that we're going to use, everybody should recognize. If I hold it here, everybody's like, I know what that is. How do you do? Because it's Florida water, right? Now, Florida water, we know, is an excellent cleanser. It is excellent at removing things that do not serve us. This is why we are using it. This is the purpose of using this. So this is going in as well. And then the final ingredient that I'm not going to put in right now is holy water, okay? I believe thoroughly that water retains memory. I believe that water is something that can be programmed. I believe that it is a potent magical tool. And I think a lot of us do, in a way, right? Because if we didn't, why would we have moon water? Why would we have thunder water? Why would we have war water? Why would we be trying to out there like mad women trying to get water from a hurricane? Water is potent. Water has memory. So I buy it this way, right? But then I charge it. And I buy these in bulk, and then I charge these bottles through each moon so that by the end of the year, I have a case of waters that have been through an entire year, an entire cycle of moons. Now, a lot of us will charge up a little bit of moon water for one moon and use it for this specific moon, and that's fine. I do that too, right? But I have had the best results when I do a continuous year-long cycle following the wheel of charging these. So that is going to be something that we add last. Now, all right, so at this point, I told the people, if you saw the advertisement, if you saw the promo, I promised that I would not share anybody's names. Now, I'm going to keep to my word because I have lots of clients who do not want people to know that they're working with me. That's just the fact of the matter, because lots of people out there like witchcraft, but they don't want anybody to know that they're doing it. Fine, I'm good with that. I'm all about the privacy. I'm about making people comfortable. So I am not going to share these names, all right? If you are watching this and you have spoken to me through Reddit, a DM, TikTok, Instagram, sent me an email, you know who you are, Facebook, any of those platforms, if you have done any of those platforms, your name is in this jar. That being said, there are people here who are watching now who I have also given the opportunity to be in this jar. However, I cannot protect your names. It's just, you're on a live chat. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. So before we add in these names and seal this up and do the incantation, I would like to give anybody who's interested now an opportunity to put in whatever name. I do not need your full name. Do not give me your full name. Let's protect your privacy. Do not put in your date of birth. I do not need that. All of your private information should stay private. We can do initials if you feel more comfortable with that. I can do a nickname, whatever you want. Please do not make it profane like that dude who was in my last live. If you were there, you saw. But just go ahead. I'm going to leave a couple minutes here for people to send in their names. I'm going to be writing down these names so that you can get added into this jar. And then we will be doing the incantation and rolling on our way. So go ahead and start sending me those names if you're interested in doing that. There's that. So I'm going to set this up here. All right. If I don't see any names come through, I'm probably just going to go ahead and start in 2 minutes. If anybody's interested in this, let me know. I'll write you down. Otherwise, we'll just move on. In the meantime, again, as I said, if you wanted to be part of this jar, please do follow me. That helps other people find me. Helps make sure that you get to see these cool witchcraft videos and that I'm on here more doing them. This jar, actually, while we're waiting, can I just talk to you guys about the energy that has been happening lately? I have no doubt that I am spot on about the releasing part, because so many people have sent me so many messages about where 2 weeks ago they were like, oh my God, my life's upside down. I don't know what's going on. Help me. And now this week they're like, you know what? I'm like actually okay with what's going on. I'm actually okay with this. I see it differently now. And I just think that that's so wonderful. You know what I mean? It's happening for me that I'm getting a lot of opportunities. People are coming out of the woodwork looking to talk. And I'm picking them up and I'm rolling. I'm just going with it. Well, I don't see any names that have come through here. So once again, last call, if you want to be put into this jar for the specific intention of releasing the old so that you can bring in the new, please give me your first name there and I will go ahead and write it down and add you to the list. Otherwise, we're going to take everybody who was already on my list and you're going into the jar. Last call. 3. Oh, thank you for all the hearts. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. 2. And we got 1 more. Nope. Nobody extra into the jar. That's fine. So let's go ahead and move on to where we were. So just a little recap here. Inside of our jar, now you can see, all right, we have salt, wormwood, sage, Florida water, agua de ruda, and soon enough, the names. So again, not going to share these names. I cannot because I promised that I would not. Don't look at that. It came undone. Don't look at it. And here, I just want you guys, while we're doing this, I just want you guys to send out the energy. Release. That is what we are looking for. We are looking for release. As these names fall into the jar, it is our deepest, purest intention that they have the strength, the perseverance, the courage, the sight to be able to release all and everything that does not serve them. We ask that Spirit speaks to them loud and clear. We ask that opportunities find them. We ask that the past hurts and pains fall away. We ask that their path is cleared, that what previously tied them now no longer binds them, and that day by day they find their way. Now, I had to crack that one open. Now, I'm going to go ahead, putting them into the jar. Spirit guard them, Spirit find them, Spirit unbind them. The chains that once tied them now are broken, fallen, and free. May we rise into and where we are meant to be. As we will it, so mote this. Now, we take our top. We place our top securely on, then we're shaking it. And the entire time that you're doing this, you're putting in those intentions. Everybody is letting go. Everybody is finding a way to let the past drop and fall. It needs to go. Clearing it out so that we can make room, so that we can find the path forward into who we are meant to be. So, from this, and I'm not going to be able to continue this with you guys for the entire time that it happens, but from this, I'm going to then light a candle. We are using blue, of course, because that has the connotation of peace, healing, cleansing. All right. This candle, by the way, was charged beforehand. I also smoke cleansed the jar and got all of my stuff cleared, but I wanted to show you guys the process of how this works. So from there, a candle goes on top. We light it with our intentions. And now this flame is going to take all of the energy, all of the intentions that we have put into this, the releasing energy. And now I'm sending it up and out, and it's going to you. All right. So if you are one of my viewers and you know that your name is in this jar, it's on its way, babe. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to shoot me a DM. Again, please follow my page. It really helps me to meet other people, and I love bringing this kind of content. I am planning on doing another jar next month, so if you didn't get in on this one and you're like, that was really interesting, I might try it, go ahead, shoot me a DM and follow me so that you'll see the announcement for next month's jar working. And thank you guys so much for joining me. I really do love doing this kind of stuff. I just love the energy, and I can't wait to do something like this with you again. So I'm going to let this burn out on its own, and I hope you guys find the path forward. It's not going to be easy, but the good things in life rarely are.